There comes a moment in life when you get tired of fighting every single day, tired of forcing things, chasing people, begging for opportunities, and wondering why nothing is changing. You smile in front of others while silently carrying storms inside your mind. But tonight, I want you to hear something deeper than motivation. I want you to feel a truth that can completely shift your reality. The answer you've been waiting for may have already been given. The universe already said yes. The problem is not that life is denying you. The problem is that you keep questioning what has already been approved for your soul. You pray for abundance, but think like someone who expects loss. You ask for love while preparing for heartbreak. You dream of success, but wake up every morning expecting failure. And the moment your thoughts fight your desires, struggle begins. Not because your dream is impossible, but because your belief is divided. Listen carefully, because this can change everything. Life responds to the identity you accept, not the words you repeat. You can say, I want success 1,000 times, but if deep inside you feel unworthy, your reality will mirror that feeling. The universe does not respond to desperation, it responds to certainty. And certainty is born the moment you stop asking if it's possible and start living as if it is already yours. Think about how much energy you waste doubting yourself. Every delay makes you panic. Every obstacle convinces you to quit. Every rejection feels personal. But what if those things were never signs that you are failing? What if they were simply shaping you into someone strong enough to hold the life you asked for? Sometimes the delay is not punishment. Sometimes it is preparation. Sometimes life is teaching your spirit how to receive what your heart has been praying for. You were never meant to live in constant fear. Fear shrinks your vision. Fear makes you settle for less than you deserve. Fear convinces you that struggle is normal and peace is impossible. But there are people walking this earth who decided to trust instead of panic, believe instead of complain, and move with confidence instead of confusion. And slowly, life began opening doors for them because they stopped resisting the flow of possibility. The greatest transformation happens when you finally understand that your imagination is not meaningless. The pictures you repeatedly hold in your mind are shaping your future. Every successful person first became successful internally before the world could see it externally. The outer world always follows the inner world. So if you constantly see defeat in your mind, you will keep meeting defeat in your reality. Change the vision within, and the world around you begins to rearrange itself. Some of you have spent years waiting for permission to become powerful. You are waiting for someone to approve your worth, validate your talent, or guarantee your future. But life does not reward hesitation, it rewards decision. The moment you decide that you are no longer available for limitation, something begins to shift inside you. Your energy changes, your focus changes, your actions change, and eventually your entire life changes. Do not underestimate the power of your assumptions. People think struggle is caused only by circumstances, but many struggles are born from expectations of failure. If you expect betrayal, you notice betrayal everywhere. If you expect rejection, you walk into every room already defeated. But when you begin expecting blessings, opportunities, love, and success, your mind starts searching for evidence to support those expectations. Your reality bends toward the story you keep repeating inside yourself. Right now, somewhere deep inside you, there is a version of yourself begging to be released. A fearless version, a confident version, a version that no longer apologizes for dreaming big. That version already exists. The only thing standing between you and that future is the old identity you refuse to let go of. You cannot become extraordinary while constantly reminding yourself of your past failures. The future requires a new mindset, a new belief system, and a new self-image. Stop asking why it has not happened yet. Start asking who you must become to align with it. Because the life you desire is not hiding from you. It is waiting for you to match its frequency. You cannot live in negativity all day and expect miracles at night. You cannot constantly speak defeat and expect victory to enter your life. Your words carry power. Your thoughts carry power. Your emotions carry power. Everything you repeatedly embody becomes an invitation to your future. There are people listening to this right now who feel broken. You feel like life has ignored you. You feel like your dreams are too far away. But hear this clearly. Your current situation is not your final destination. Just because things are hard now does not mean they will stay hard forever. Seasons change, storms pass, darkness ends, and the same life that tested you can also reward you beyond imagination. But you must refuse to give up before the breakthrough arrives. Most people quit too early. They stop believing one moment before things begin changing. They allow temporary pain to convince them that permanent defeat is their destiny. But strong people think differently. They continue moving even when they cannot see results yet. They trust the unseen. They believe before proof appears. And eventually reality catches up to their belief. Faith is powerful because it allows you to walk toward a future that your eyes cannot yet confirm. Imagine waking up tomorrow without fear. Imagine moving through life knowing that things are working in your favor even when you cannot see how. Imagine no longer begging life for scraps because you finally understand your worth. That confidence changes everything. People feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Energy flows toward it. The moment you stop chasing and start embodying the feeling of already having it, life begins reflecting that energy back to you. You have survived too much to keep doubting yourself now. Think about all the pain you endured, all the nights you cried, all the moments you thought you would never recover. Yet here you are, still breathing, still fighting, still searching for something greater. That means your story is not over. There is still purpose inside you. There is still greatness waiting to unfold through you. And no setback has the power to erase what was meant for your soul. The universe is not against you. Life is not punishing you. You are not forgotten. The doors you seek can open faster than you imagine once your inner world changes. The moment you stop living like someone abandoned by life and start living like someone chosen for greatness, reality responds differently. Your energy becomes magnetic, your mind becomes focused, your actions become intentional, and the world begins rearranging itself to match your new identity. So from this moment forward, stop speaking like a defeated person. Stop waking up expecting disappointment. Stop replaying old stories that keep you trapped in pain. A new future requires a new conversation within yourself. Speak victory. Expect abundance. Walk with certainty. Carry yourself like someone whose prayers are already answered. Because the truth is, the universe already said yes. The only question left is this: will you finally believe it? Fear has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. It has stopped people from speaking, creating, loving, risking, and becoming the person they were born to be. Fear is silent but powerful. It whispers lies into the mind until those lies begin to feel like truth. It tells people they are not ready, not capable, not worthy, or not smart enough. And the dangerous part is that most people never realize how much of their life is being controlled by fear instead of reality. Look at how many opportunities people miss because of doubt. They hesitate before taking the first step. They overthink every decision until the moment passes. They talk themselves out of possibilities before even trying. And then they convince themselves that life never gives them chances. But often, the opportunity was there. The problem was that fear spoke louder than faith. Fear creates hesitation, and hesitation keeps people trapped in the same painful cycle year after year. The mind is extremely powerful because whatever you focus on begins to grow emotionally inside you. When you constantly focus on what could go wrong, your energy becomes heavy. You begin expecting disappointment. You walk into situations already preparing for failure. Your body may be present, but your spirit is defeated before the battle even begins. That is why fear creates struggle. It weakens your confidence long before reality has a chance to prove you wrong. Doubt is just as dangerous because it slowly destroys trust within yourself. The moment you stop trusting your own abilities, every challenge starts looking impossible. You question every move you make. You compare yourself to others constantly. You seek approval for every decision because you no longer believe your own instincts are enough. And when a person loses trust in themselves, even simple obstacles begin to feel overwhelming. Doubt turns mountains into walls that only exist inside the mind. But think about the moments in life when you felt truly certain about something. Think about a time when you believed deeply that things would somehow work out. Notice how different your energy became in those moments. You moved differently. You spoke differently. Your focus became stronger because certainty creates power. When you believe something is possible, your mind begins searching for solutions instead of excuses. You become creative, resilient, and determined because belief changes the way you respond to challenges. Certainty does not mean you know every detail of the future. It means you trust yourself enough to continue moving forward, even when the outcome is unclear. The strongest people are not people who never feel fear. They are people who refuse to let fear control their decisions. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting despite fear. Every successful person had moments where they were uncertain, nervous, or afraid. But they kept going because they believed more in possibility than in limitation. Life has a strange way of responding to energy. When someone constantly lives in panic, desperation, and negativity, they often attract more situations that reinforce those emotions. Their focus becomes consumed by problems. They expect betrayal, failure, rejection, and disappointment, so they notice those things everywhere. But people who move through life with confidence and faith often attract opportunities because their mindset is open instead of closed. They expect good things, so they recognize possibilities that fearful people overlook. This is why two people can live in the same world but experience completely different realities. One person sees obstacles in everything, while another sees opportunities hidden within those same obstacles. One person quits after rejection, while another learns from it and becomes stronger. The difference is not always talent or intelligence. Often, the difference is mindset. Fear closes doors internally before life even has the chance to open them externally. Some people spend years praying for success while secretly expecting failure. They ask for abundance but emotionally prepare for struggle. They want love but constantly fear heartbreak. Their desires and beliefs are fighting each other, and that inner conflict creates suffering. You cannot constantly expect negative outcomes and then wonder why peace feels so far away. The mind follows your dominant expectations. If you feed it fear daily, fear becomes your reality. But if you feed it certainty and hope, your perspective begins changing completely. There is also something powerful about faith that many people underestimate. Faith gives strength during difficult moments. It allows people to continue moving even when results are not visible yet. Without faith, people give up too quickly because they judge their future based only on current circumstances. But faith reminds you that temporary struggle does not define your destiny. It reminds you that growth often happens in silence before success becomes visible. The people who eventually win in life are often not the people with the easiest journey. They are the people who refuse to let fear stop them permanently. They failed but continued. They were rejected but continued. They faced uncertainty but continued. And with every challenge they overcame, their certainty became stronger. Confidence is built through surviving difficult moments, not avoiding them. Every obstacle you overcome becomes proof that you are stronger than you once believed. Imagine how different your life could become if you stopped expecting disaster every day. Imagine waking up with the belief that things are working in your favor instead of against you. Imagine entering opportunities with confidence instead of insecurity. That shift alone can transform your relationships, your career, your mindset, and your future. Because when certainty enters your life, fear loses its power to control you. The truth is, fear and doubt will always exist in some form, but they do not have to become your master. You have the power to choose which voice you feed daily. You can feed fear until it becomes a prison, or you can feed faith until it becomes strength. You can focus on obstacles until life feels impossible, or you can focus on possibilities until opportunities begin appearing everywhere. Fear and doubt create struggle because they disconnect you from your own power. But certainty and faith reconnect you to the strength that was already within you. And once you truly understand that, your entire life begins to shift in ways you never imagined possible. Most people believe the world around them is completely separate from the world within them. They think their thoughts are harmless, their emotions are temporary, and their inner conversations have no connection to the reality they experience. But the truth is far more powerful than that. The outer world is constantly reflecting the inner world. Your thoughts, assumptions, emotions, and beliefs quietly shape the direction of your life every single day. Whether you realize it or not, the reality you experience often begins in the invisible space within your own mind. Think about how two people can walk through the exact same situation, yet experience it completely differently. One person sees failure in every obstacle, while another sees opportunity. One sees rejection as proof they are unworthy, while another sees it as redirection towards something greater. The circumstances may look identical from the outside, but the inner interpretation changes everything. Your mind acts like a filter. It decides what you focus on, what you expect, and ultimately what you create emotionally and physically in your life. The thoughts you repeat daily become mental patterns, and those patterns slowly shape your reality. If someone constantly thinks, "Nothing ever works out for me," they begin approaching life with defeat already planted inside them. Their energy changes, their confidence weakens, their actions become hesitant, and eventually their outer world begins reflecting that inner belief. Not because life is punishing them, but because the mind naturally creates experiences that align with dominant thoughts and emotions. This is why negativity becomes addictive for some people. They replay painful memories over and over until suffering becomes part of their identity. They expect disappointment because disappointment feels familiar. They expect betrayal because they have emotionally rehearsed it so many times. And then when negative situations appear, they say, "I knew this would happen." But what they do not realize is that their inner world has been preparing them to notice, attract, and emotionally connect with those outcomes all along. On the other hand, people who intentionally focus on growth, possibility, and belief experience life differently. That does not mean they never face problems. Everyone faces challenges, but their inner world gives them strength instead of weakness. Their mindset helps them see solutions where others only see obstacles. They move through life with hope instead of constant fear, and because of that, they often create opportunities, relationships, and experiences that match the energy they consistently carry within themselves. Your emotions also play a powerful role in shaping your reality. Emotions are not just reactions, they are signals that influence the way you think, behave, and interact with the world. Someone who constantly lives in fear unconsciously pushes opportunities away because fear creates hesitation. Someone who lives in anger often attracts conflict because anger affects the way they communicate and respond to others. But someone who lives with gratitude, confidence, and inner peace naturally radiates a different energy that affects every part of their life. This is why self-awareness is so important. Many people are trying to change their lives externally while completely ignoring what is happening internally. They want better relationships while carrying resentment inside. They want success while constantly thinking they are incapable. They want peace while feeding their minds negativity every day. But external change without internal change rarely lasts. The outer world can only sustain what the inner world is prepared to hold. Look at the way successful people think. Before success appeared physically, it existed mentally. They imagined possibilities before evidence existed. They believed in their vision before the world believed in them. They trained their minds to focus on growth instead of limitation. And over time, their actions aligned with those thoughts. Their persistence increased. Their confidence expanded. Their reality eventually caught up with the identity they had already accepted internally. Your assumptions about yourself become especially powerful because they influence every decision you make. If you assume you are unworthy of love, you may accept unhealthy relationships because deep down you believe that is all you deserve. If you assume you are not intelligent enough, you may avoid opportunities that could completely transform your future. If you assume life is always difficult, you may unconsciously create struggle even when peace is available. Your assumptions silently shape your choices, and your choices shape your destiny. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant repeatedly begins to grow. If you constantly plant fear, insecurity, jealousy, and negativity, those emotions begin taking over your life. But if you plant confidence, hope, discipline, gratitude, and faith, a completely different reality starts developing. This is why protecting your mind is one of the most important things you can do. The content you consume, the conversations you entertain, the people you surround yourself with, all of these things influence your inner world. Many people underestimate the power of imagination. They think imagination is childish or unrealistic. But every invention, achievement, relationship, and transformation first existed in someone's imagination before becoming reality. Your imagination shapes the emotional blueprint of your future. If you constantly imagine failure, your body and mind respond with fear. But if you begin imagining success, peace, confidence, and abundance, your inner world starts preparing you for those experiences instead. This does not mean life will instantly become perfect. Challenges will still exist. Difficult moments will still come. But your inner world determines whether those moments break you or strengthen you. A strong mindset allows you to face storms without losing yourself. It allows you to continue believing even when results are delayed. And that inner stability becomes one of the greatest powers a person can develop. There are people who spend years trying to fix their lives externally while ignoring the war happening inside them. But the greatest transformation begins the moment you realize that your thoughts are not small things. Your emotions are not meaningless. Your assumptions are not harmless. They are shaping the lens through which you experience life every single day. Once you truly understand that the outer world reflects the inner world, everything changes. You stop feeding your mind constant negativity. You become intentional about your thoughts. You choose beliefs that empower you instead of weaken you. You stop identifying with pain and start identifying with possibility. And slowly, reality begins changing because the person creating that reality has changed from within first. There are people who spend years begging life for signs while completely ignoring the opportunities already standing in front of them. They keep asking if their dreams are possible, if success is meant for them, if love will ever arrive, or if abundance will ever enter their lives. But the deeper truth is this: the answer has already been given. The universe already said yes. The problem is not that your desires are being denied. The problem is that your mindset, habits, and energy are still fighting against the very future you claim to want. Most people live in contradiction. They say they want peace, but they feed their minds chaos every day. They say they want success, but constantly speak like defeated people. They pray for abundance while emotionally preparing for struggle. They ask for change while remaining attached to the same limiting identity. And when nothing changes externally, they assume life is against them. But life cannot fully deliver a new reality to someone who refuses to become new internally. Alignment is everything. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions must begin moving in the same direction as the life you desire. Imagine trying to drive a car with one foot on the accelerator and the other on the brake. That is how many people live mentally and emotionally. One part of them dreams about greatness, while another part keeps whispering fear, doubt, insecurity, and limitation. That inner conflict creates exhaustion because your mind and spirit are pulling in opposite directions. The moment alignment begins, life feels different. You stop chasing every answer with desperation. You stop living in constant panic about the future. Instead, you begin carrying the energy of someone who trusts that what belongs to them is already unfolding. And that trust changes your behavior. Your decisions become calmer. Your focus becomes sharper. Your confidence becomes stronger because you are no longer living from fear. You are living from certainty. Think about how powerful it would feel to wake up every day believing that life is working in your favor. Not because every moment is perfect, but because you understand that temporary obstacles do not define your destiny. When someone truly aligns with belief, they stop seeing setbacks as signs to quit. They start seeing them as part of the journey. They understand that delays are not always denials. Sometimes life is simply preparing them mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for what they asked for. The people who transform their lives are often the ones who stop obsessing over what is missing and start embodying the feeling of already being blessed. Gratitude becomes their mindset. Confidence becomes their posture. Faith becomes their foundation. They begin acting like someone who expects opportunities instead of disappointment. And because their energy changes, their entire experience of life begins changing too. Your mindset matters because it shapes the way you respond to every situation. If you constantly think life is unfair, you will notice negativity everywhere. If you believe nothing ever works out for you, your mind will search for proof to support that belief. But when you begin expecting growth, success, love, and abundance, your focus changes. You notice opportunities you once ignored. You take actions you once feared. You become emotionally available for the future you desire. Alignment also requires letting go of old identities. You cannot continuously identify as broken and expect to experience wholeness. You cannot keep replaying past failures while trying to create a new future. The person you were yesterday does not have to control who you become tomorrow. But many people hold on to old pain because it feels familiar. They continue telling the same negative stories about themselves until those stories become emotional prisons. There comes a moment when you must decide whether your past will define you or teach you. Every painful experience carries a lesson, but it should not become your permanent identity. The mistakes you made are not the final truth about you. The heartbreak you experienced is not the end of your story. The failures you survived were not proof that you are weak. They were moments that shaped your growth. And once you stop carrying them as proof of limitation, you create space for something greater to enter your life. Another important truth is that alignment requires action. Belief alone is not enough if your actions continue supporting fear. You cannot dream about success while refusing to step outside your comfort zone. You cannot ask for change while repeating the same destructive habits every day. Action is the bridge between vision and reality. Every small decision you make either moves you closer to your future or keeps you trapped in your past. But action becomes easier when your mindset changes. When you truly believe something is possible, effort no longer feels meaningless. You become willing to keep going because your faith becomes stronger than temporary discomfort. Strong people understand that results may not appear immediately, but they continue anyway because they trust the process unfolding behind the scenes. There is also power in protecting your energy. Many people destroy their own alignment by surrounding themselves with constant negativity. They listen to voices that feed doubt instead of possibility. They consume content that increases fear instead of confidence. They stay connected to environments that drain their spirit. But growth requires intentionality. If you want a peaceful future, you must stop feeding chaos into your mind every day. Imagine how different your life could become if you stopped fighting yourself internally. Imagine moving through life with the deep belief that your dreams are not impossible. Imagine speaking with confidence instead of insecurity. Imagine making decisions from trust instead of fear. That shift alone can completely transform your future because your external world always begins responding to your internal state. The universe already said yes to your dreams, your growth, your healing, your abundance, and your future. The real question is whether you are finally ready to say yes to yourself. Because once your mindset, emotions, beliefs, and actions begin aligning with the life you desire, struggle loses its power over you. And the moment that alignment happens, life begins opening doors in ways that once seemed impossible.